Jurgen Klopp?
In a cold room. It's cold here. Somebody switched off the heating.
In terms of the translation, for those who would like it, there is an interpreter called Deborah, and if you require Dutch translation, it's on the French channel. I know that always causes a bit of confusion, but there we go. And we're still waiting for hands up from Sky, which we haven't got, so I'm afraid we can't kick off the press conference with them, but we'll start with Ian Kennedy from BBC.
We beginnen met Ian Kennedy van BBC Radio.
Hi, Jurgen. Just first of all, an update on the injury news. Jordan Henderson, we saw come back at half-time at Brighton. Is he okay? And Thiago as well, is there an update on his situation?
Hendo is okay. And Thiago, we have to maybe clarify it a little bit. It's so on that day in whenever it was, when Thiago got injured in that bad challenge in the Everton game, there was another bad injury, and after the scans, it was like, okay, one was really bad news and the other one was really good news because nothing was broke, nothing was ruptured, stuff like this. But how we realize now, it was still a massive impact on the knee. So the problem is that in a situation like that, you try to be nothing is ruptured, nothing is broken. So that means everybody thinks, okay, you can go after a few days, but it's the impact on the knee, on the leg was that big that it's still not okay. It's not massive, and he trains from time to time, not in a moment, because we just have to realize that we have to go a few further steps. That's it. I can't say exactly when he will be fine, but well, it will take a few weeks still. So with Thiago, and that's how it is. So Hendo's fine. Nobody else is coming back, but Millie is out as well.
And given that problem with James Milner, it's so important to have somebody like Jordan Henderson coming back, because we saw the impact that he made in the second half at Brighton, how important he is to you on both on and off the pitch, actually, but certainly on the pitch.
Yeah, I didn't need that proof actually, but yes, it's true. Very good news that Hendo is back.
Right, we have got Carve, so we can go to Carve from Sky Sports News, and then we'll go to Carl Markham and Neil Jones after that.
Jurgen, we saw a very worrying incident last night in the Arsenal-Wolves game, and I just wanted to ask you if you thought it was now time for football to follow other sports to have concussion substitutes.
Yes, I honestly, in that moment, I didn't think about a rule change or whatever. I just was sitting there for 10 minutes and waiting that both get up without any issues, but that didn't happen. I hope Raul Jiminez is as good as possible now. I heard he had a surgery. If that's right, I don't know, but I wish him all the best, obviously. And with David Luiz, I don't know. I think we have the concussion protocols. I know we have the concussion protocols. So the boy, I'm pretty sure Arsenal did that. And now people say, I'm not sure if the new rule with the concussion substitute would have helped in that moment, because if the player can play on. I was a player myself. I had a few different injuries in my life and these kind of things. So if the player feels completely fine, the concussion protocol is fulfilled, then I think he would have played on anyway. But yes, it makes sense that we can do things like this, of course.
And the game in Amsterdam was quite close. Are you expecting a similar kind of game at Anfield?
Yeah, why should I not expect a close game? So Ajax Amsterdam is a really good side, and since our game flying pretty much through the league, big results, clear top of the table, very talented, some players coming back, these kind of things. Yes, I expect a close game.
Fantastic, thank you, Carve. And by the way, for when the player comes, you'll need to do the hands up all over again for those of you who I'm putting in and putting out. Carl Markham, followed by Neil Jones. Carl.
Hi, Jurgen.
Hi, Carl.
Hi. I'm just wondering, I know you don't like like look too far forward, but in terms of getting result from this game, how significant will it be in making your life a little bit easier for December?
I actually don't see it in that perspective, because that would mean I count somehow with the points already. So we deal with the situation like how the situation is, and yes, 3 points would be great, absolutely great. But that is obviously on the table. It's so clear that it would help us massively. That I didn't think I would have to mention it today. But yes, of course, important game against a really good team, and that's the way we want to approach it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Neil Jones from goal.
Hi, Jurgen, you okay?
Go to pair from the TB2 Norway, but Neil first.
Hi there, yeah. I know they're important, obviously, at all times, but how important at the moment are the backroom staff in terms of the masseurs and the fitness staff in terms of getting your players ready for these games that are coming, obviously, in such a short space of time?
You said yourself, they're always incredibly important in moments like this, and it is intense periods. Of course, the players spend sometimes more time in that department than with me on the pitch, for sure, because we don't train a lot. We can't. And so, yeah, very, very important. And they know it. And it's a busy time for all of us and for them, for sure, as well.
Thank you, Neil. We'll go to Pat from TV2 Norway.
Yes, hi again.
Hi.
Knowing obviously it's a really tight schedule now, and it's many games this season. Does all these games force you to have to prioritize between different competitions? Meaning you also maybe will have lesser chance in some competitions because you have to prioritize another one.
I don't have enough players for prioritizing, so I don't know exactly what you mean.
No, meaning
would
that
prioritize
you
now
have to. Meaning you have to, for example, choose to rest players in the Champions League or in the Premier League for having a chance in the next game in the Champions League or the Premier League, if you understand what I mean.
Yeah, but I don't have enough players for doing that. I have to react on it's not about the competition, it's about the game we play. So it means we played 2 days ago, and the fittest players for that game were on the pitch, and that will be the case again for this game, because we don't have, how I said, there are not enough players to make these kind of decisions. And I never made it, for sure not I never made this kind of decisions, Premier League and Champions League or whatever, because they are all competitions are for us very, very, very important. So, no.
Okay, Nate Williams, Ian Doyle, and then one of our, we've got Bennett from, I presume, from Holland. But Nate first.
Hi, Jurgen. Very big week for fans this week. Some are returning, some are not. Yours won't be in the stadium tomorrow because it's before the deadline. But I just wondered what you've missed about the fans, if there's any particular chant or thing you've missed about having the fans at Anfield.
I don't think I ever played a game. I played as a player. I had never more than 2,000 supporters probably. But since I work as a coach, there was more people in the stadium. I don't know exactly who will be in and who will be the 2,000. But yes, I'm happy for the 2,000 lucky ones who get the chance to see live football again after all that time. But I have no experience with 2,000 people at Anfield, to be honest. So we will see. How we adapted to no supporters in the stadium. We will try to use 2,000 in the stadium and try not to suffer with 2,000 or 4,000 supporters in an away stadium. So that's how it is. But it's really not about us or the advantage we have with that or the disadvantage somebody else. It's a nice sign that these things are possible, and I hope that it is just the first step. That is my biggest hope.
Ian Doyle, and then after Ian, we go to Bennett. Ian.
Hi, Jurgen. I just want to ask about the youngsters, Rhys Williams and Neco Williams, how well you think that they've done coming into what is a difficult situation, not least because they're coming to a team that's, much changed. And when they play at Anfield, they don't have the backing of the fans that perhaps they would have done, last season. You think of the Arsenal League Cup game.
Look, if somebody is a Liverpool youth or academy player in general, he has already, for sure, a lot of talent, for sure. Otherwise, you can't make the cut. When you then go through all these difficult moments in your youth academy career, we go through, then you are already used to some difficult situation and some pressure. But then when you come up and you make the final step and you have to play in a competitive game for the first team, that's a different animal. And I think the boys adapted really, really well. They did a lot of really good stuff, helped us enormously, are very important, not only in the moment, but especially in the moment. And the only problem they have from time to time is that people compare them with the guy who played the position before them. And they are, in our case, all world-class players. And that makes it maybe kind of difficult for people to see clear how talented these boys are. And but from my point of view, they did really, really well.
Fantastic. Bennett, are you okay to ask your question in English? That'll be helpful.
Yeah, sure, no problem. Hi, Jurgen. Cheers from the Netherlands. The injuries your team has to deal with, do you think that's a consequence from the busy football calendar?
From what?
Like the injuries your team has to deal with, is that a consequence of the busy football calendar?
Busy football calendar. Yes, but not only. That's how it is. We had impact injuries, especially in the Everton game, two massive impact injuries. And from that moment on, it started because you don't have the, if one player goes out for a long time, another player who's maybe not ready has to play more often than not, because it's difficult to prepare a squad for two massive injuries on one position. And the next step, in that case, it was a centre half we lost at Everton, and the midfielder we lost at Everton. Then the other midfielder had to play centre half. That means another midfielder who was not probably exactly ready already for the job had to play midfield. So it's one leads to another thing, and that's a situation. So that's not to change anymore. So that we deal with that and we try to make the best of it.
Okay, before we go to you, Dave, we'll go to another question from our Dutch visitors later, which is, I think it says NOS, Studio 7, you're on. We can't quite tell your name there, but it was like...
Yes, NOS.
Hilversum, yes, NOS. Yes,
yes, hello. This is Jan Roels from the Netherlands, NOS. Frank de Boer, the national head coach, stated yesterday that he is in contact with Virgil van Dijk and that he's doing well. Are you in contact with Virgil, and how is he doing according to your opinion?
Yes, of course we are in contact. Considering the circumstances, he's doing really well. His knee doesn't look good, to be honest. Doesn't look like a knee should look, but it looks good for a knee with that surgery and the time he had since the surgery. So yeah, of course we are in contact, and he's doing well. That's true.
Fantastic. Last two questions, Dave Maddock and then James Pearce, and then we'll make way for Andrew Robertson when he's ready. Yes, Dave.
Hi, Jurgen. You say about you don't have the players to prioritize. And I mean, it's clear what you've been saying all along is you actually care about the players and their health. So how difficult is that as a manager when you know that you don't have the numbers to do what you should be doing, and you have little choice? It must be hard for you and your staff to even be in this position. So, as a manager who cares about his players.
It's the situation. It's a situation. It's so difficult to answer these kind of questions without starting the other discussion again. So it is not a perfect situation. That was always clear, and will be more difficult for all of us. But obviously, not enough people, at least, want to offer any kind of help to not only for us, for the football people, and so that looks like then nothing will change. We just have to deal with it, and there's always a moment when you try to change things, and there's a moment when while you changing or try to change things, you're still dealing with the things which how they are, and that's it. I cannot say more. So I said it always, as long as we can line up 11 players, we will fight with all we have. And that's still the case.
Final question to the manager, which is from James Pearce. And then for those people who'd like to ask questions to the player, please use the hands up mechanism, but there will be a slight break before Andrew Robertson comes in. Yes, James.
Hi, Jurgen. Can I just check where's Trent Alexander-Arnold up to with his rehab? And do you know yet how long you're going to be without Naby Keita and Xherdan Shaqiri?
They're all getting closer to be back. Yeah, not close enough for tomorrow, I think. With Naby, we have to check still, but with the other two, they will not be ready. But Trent looks quite good, but you have to make so he's not. Nobody gave me green light for tonight, so he will not be in. He didn't train with the team, stuff like this. I saw him today on the pitch doing his rehab stuff outside, so that looks already good. But it's not my decision to. I cannot decide when this rehab stuff will be finished. I take the players over in the moment when I get the green light. That didn't happen yet, but from my rather experienced eye, what I saw today, it will not be that long anymore with Trent.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Andy Robertson will be just under 5 minutes.
Thank you.
Start using the hands up now. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.